I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and in this 5 on Friday, we're talking about 5 ways to get started in this business. It's probably the most frequently asked question that I get in this business. I'm going to help you out with 5 ways to get started. Let's kick it off in this 5 on Friday. When I look at my Twitter feed, my Facebook feed, my Google Plus feed, the company's Google Plus feed, my email inbox, the most commonly asked question I get from the readers, from you guys, is how to get involved in the business. I see people all the time that are either young and just starting out, looking for internships, perhaps people that have been in a particular industry for a long time, and they just want to switch to the mobile space. I've got 5 ways to help you get started. Number 1 is pursue an internship. If you have no experience in the wireless field, and perhaps you're just starting out, you're in high school or just starting college and don't have any work experience, an internship is a great way to get started in the mobile space. And what's good about that is you can get started in the particular field as opposed to, let's say, spending 10 years in engineering and then all of a sudden deciding you want to do journalism. You can get started with an internship, learn those practical experiences, learn how the business works, and pursue an actual career from there. You'll find that most websites will offer internships from time to time. I have internships that I do on a pretty regular basis, and so that's one way to get started in the business. Number 2, and this is a great way to get started if you're looking for a career shift, start in wireless retail. Whether you're just starting out or perhaps you're moving from a different industry, there are various number of options available in wireless retail. If you have experience already, you can do an assistant manager or a manager role or perhaps a B2B role. If you're just starting out, you're in college, you can do part-time wireless retail job. What that does is 2 things. It gives you industry experience, and then it also gives you an idea on a different side of the business. That's actually how I started. I started with wireless retail, worked my way to B2B, then I was an account executive for a company, then I did more B2B work, and then I did national retail work, and that's how I started on that particular side of the industry and eased myself over into the journalism side. So it's a great way to get started, and you'll find that a lot of sites want that practical experience because if you worked for Verizon or AT&T, you know how the industry works, you know how the consumer reacts, and it makes for great stories, op-eds. Usually it fits hand in hand with working on the journalism side. Number 3 is YouTube. If you have a passion for talking on camera, get on YouTube and just start reviewing stuff. Start unboxing stuff. If you're at Denny's or you're at McDonald's, unbox a cup of coffee, turn on your camera and start talking about it. Or if you have a phone already, turn on your camera and talk about your phone. Talk about the 5 favorite features of the device, or review it and throw it up on YouTube. And then apply for various positions. You'll find that if you have great on camera abilities, you may find a position sooner than somebody that's looking for an internship. You may find that special role, that perfect fit at a various website. Now, what I will say is that most of these sites, for any level past entry level, they do require experience. If, for example, any editor that I hire most likely needs some level of experience in the industry. When I look for an editor, I look for somebody with 1 to 3 years of experience in the industry. For an intern, on the other hand, or perhaps a video intern, that's something that's an unpaid position, and I can find somebody that's particularly new to the industry, and I can train them from there. But YouTube is a great way to get started. It gives you kind of a virtual resume of sorts where you can say, hey, you know what? Here's how I look on camera, here's how I talk on camera, and here's what I do on camera, and people can go to your YouTube channel and look it up. Number 4 is start your own site, and it's incredibly hard to do in 2013 where the market's pretty saturated with technology publications and various other fields in the industry. Tech publications, car publications, tablet publications, all these different fields, Android publications, iOS publications, Windows Phone publications, they're everywhere. And it's pretty saturated right now, but what I will say is if you start your own site, you gain a following. Social media is playing a more important role than ever in 2013. And if you've got a pretty sizable social media following, you can pick up an audience for your website, and then you can gradually work to build that, grow that. Use Google for advertising part-time until you can work with another company to do your advertising full-time. It's hard to get started in this business that way in 2013, incredibly hard. But what I will say is if you can get that site presence established, it can do 2 things, and I feel like I'm saying this for everything, but it can do 2 things. 1, it'll give you credibility and you can build it yourself, or when you go to apply to a position at a PhoneDog or a Verge or an Into Mobile or any other publication in the space, they'll see that you have a website, that you have some level of experience running at least some level of the business, because it is a 70-hour. When you get into a full-time business like a PhoneDog or a Verge and you're running it, it's a 70-hour-a-week job, and when you run it like that, you can get a feel or get an idea of how the particular industry works. And number 5, and this one is a little bit different, you can start from another side of the industry or even another field entirely. Oftentimes, when a company, in rare cases, when a company looks for an editor, when I look for an editor, for example, or a video person, sometimes I want a particular opinion that's outside of the wireless field. I mean, I've been in wireless for 10 years this year. A lot of my staff has been in wireless from 1 to 4 years in various positions. And so I may be looking for somebody, and this is not to say always, but sometimes I may look for somebody that has an outsider's perspective. Perhaps an engineer's approach to how a phone works, or perhaps a marketing person's approach to how a phone should be marketing, or marketed, or how HTC should do their marketing, or how Apple should do their marketing. That outsider perspective, don't look at that as bad. Focus on that as a positive. And if you're coming into this industry from a different field, think about how you can use your skills from accounting, or your skills from business management, or your skills from engineering on this side of the business, because I think you'll find that if you can sell yourself in an interview like that, oftentimes you'll get hired. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for more 5 on Friday segments, and let me know what you want to see next in the 5 on Friday segment at PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter, down here in the comments section on YouTube or on the PhoneDog website, or on Facebook at Facebook.com/Hi Aaron Baker. 5 on Friday will return most likely next Friday, though I will be traveling, so I can't guarantee an episode, but hopefully we'll get one up for you next Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and stay tuned for Phone Dog's Mobile World Congress 2013 coverage right here on YouTube and on the site. I'll see you next time.